China just built a gambling city so insane, it makes Las Vegas look like a roadside truck stop. We're talking about a strip of land smaller than Manhattan that, at its peak, generated several times more casino revenue than the entire Las Vegas Strip combined. At its peak, Macau's casinos were bringing in well over $40 billion a year in gambling revenue, while Las Vegas was generating only a fraction of that. One city. More gambling revenue than almost anywhere else on Earth. And the buildings they built to make that happen? They didn't just break records, they broke the rule book on what a casino is even supposed to look like. We're talking typhoon-proof Eiffel Towers, hotels with 0 internal support columns, and wave pools sitting 20 stories in the air. This is Macau, and before we walk through the buildings, you need to understand how a sleepy fishing port turned into one of the most profitable pieces of real estate on the planet. For more than 4 centuries, Macau was a quiet Portuguese colony, fishermen, spice traders, not much else. Then, in 1999, China took it back. And buried inside that handover was a loophole that would trigger one of the biggest casino construction booms in history. Mainland China has a total ban on gambling. Over 1 billion people, 0 legal way to place a bet. But thanks to the one country, two systems arrangement, Macau got to keep its casinos running. Suddenly, you had the only legal gambling zone within arm's reach of the largest population of potential gamblers on the planet. For decades, one businessman, Stanley Ho, controlled every single casino in Macau. Then in 2002, the government smashed that monopoly wide open and auctioned off 6 new licenses. Vegas giants like MGM, Sands, and Wynn showed up almost overnight with blank checks and architects because they'd already done the math. A high roller in Macau can wager dramatically more than a high roller in Las Vegas. The gold rush was officially on. MGM went first, and they went in with $1.25 billion and a building inspired by Macau's own seafaring history. A 3-wave glass facade that catches light like ocean water with a hand-painted dome ceiling 25 meters up that mimics the sky over Lisbon. But here's the catch. This whole strip sits on reclaimed land, basically compressed sand pumped up from the seafloor. To anchor a 35-story tower on that, engineers had to drive foundation piles 40 meters down until they hit stable ground, then wrap the whole thing in triple-glazed glass rated to survive powerful typhoon winds. 3 years of building, 600 rooms, and when it opened in 2007, it quickly became one of the most successful casino properties in Macau, helping fuel the city's explosive gaming boom. Stanley Ho wasn't about to let the Americans run his city without a fight. In 2008, he answered with the Grand Lisboa, a 261-meter golden lotus flower wrapped in more than 1 million individually controlled LED lights, built to dominate Macau's skyline and make a statement about who still ruled the city's casino industry. The petals on the building aren't decoration, they're the actual structural exoskeleton, with each floor cantilevered slightly wider than the one beneath it. To carry that load, the foundation goes deep into solid granite. Inside the lobby sits a 218-carat pink diamond worth millions of dollars, just sitting there as decor, underneath an enormous crystal chandelier designed to match the building's reputation for excess. The property quickly became one of the most recognizable and profitable landmarks in Macau. Then came Galaxy Macau, which threw out the idea of a casino entirely and built a self-contained resort universe instead. Picture a man-made beach with 350,000 tons of imported sand and a 2,200-meter lazy river snaking through the property, engineered to keep a steady current flowing under thousands of inner tubes without ever creating a bottleneck. 120 restaurants, 50,000 square meters of convention space, over 1 million square meters of total floor area, making it one of the largest integrated resort complexes ever built. The payoff for all that ambition? It became one of the highest-grossing resort properties in the world. But the building that actually broke comprehension was the Venetian Macau. Las Vegas Sands looked at this strip of reclaimed land in 2004 and decided to build the largest casino structure on Earth. Nearly 1 million square meters, big enough to rank among the largest buildings in the world. Crews had to pump millions of cubic meters of fill from the ocean floor and drive tens of thousands of concrete piles down to stabilize it. Over 200 artists spent 18 months hand-painting frescoes across the ceilings to recreate a Venetian sky. And inside they built 3 indoor canals, complete with 39 working gondolas, where the gondoliers genuinely sing while rowing tourists past designer storefronts. 3,000 suites, none smaller than 70 square meters, and an arena that seats 15,000 people. The resort has consistently ranked among the most successful casino properties ever built, and new staff are reportedly given maps just to find their way around. Not to be outdone, Sands then decided to recreate an entire country next door. The Parisian Macau cost $2.7 billion and centers on a half-scale replica of the Eiffel Tower, standing 162 meters tall. And this isn't some rough copy. Engineers based the design closely on the original Eiffel Tower, recreating many of its distinctive structural details using thousands of tons of steel. The problem is Paris sits on limestone bedrock and Macau sits on reclaimed sand, so the entire foundation had to be reinvented from scratch while keeping the tower's design intact, anchored by more than 100 concrete piles driven deep below the surface. The original tower was engineered for winds far lower than what Macau regularly experiences during typhoon season, so key structural elements had to be reinforced behind the scenes. Today, the tower draws millions of visitors every year. Step back and look at the full picture. 9 casino palaces, roughly $28 billion in construction costs, all crammed onto a strip of reclaimed land that barely existed a generation ago. At their combined peak, these properties were helping Macau generate tens of billions of dollars a year in gambling revenue, making it by far the largest casino market on Earth. Many of them generated revenues on a scale rarely seen anywhere else in the hospitality industry. And even after decades of construction, Macau continues investing billions into tourism, entertainment, and resort expansion. China didn't just build a few big casinos. They built an entirely new city out of reclaimed land, ambition, and a 400-year-old loophole. A place where billions of dollars move through buildings engineered to survive typhoons, where artificial islands became some of the most valuable real estate on the planet. And that took the casino concept and scaled it to a level nobody thought possible. And now I'm curious what you think. If you've seen both Macau and Las Vegas, which one impressed you more? And if you could visit only one of these casino cities, which would you choose? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe for more stories about the technologies, mega projects, and engineering feats reshaping our world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.